for teachers, whether in the church or teachers in public school, that acting out is something that maybe for years we've just kind of thought, it's just their personality or they're just being disobedient, but it really is a deeper issue there for a lot of kids.
Yes.
Wow. Well, you said in your breakout here at the D6 conference that these kids are hurting and we can help. But fear tries to tell us a different story. We think, well, I'm not trained, I'm not licensed, I don't feel prepared. How do we get past these fear-driven hurdles that tell us that we can't do this?
Well, the first thing that I would say is that we need to identify what lies we're believing, because fear is not from God. God did not put that fear in you. And so getting to the root of where is this driven from? Is it from my own past experience where I'm feeling unqualified about something? Or is there some lie that I'm believing that I need to deal with so that I can move into this? So the first thing is kind of looking at us and evaluating that piece. But then also, I really believe that focusing on relationship is the most powerful thing, and any of us can do relationship. And so there's a saying in the counseling world that a wounding that happens through relationship can only be healed in relationship. And it only takes one person. Research shows that one relationship, it could be with a leader, with a volunteer, with someone at home, like a parent, can bring healing. And so we all have the ability to lean into relationship and provide attunement and emotional connection. And we don't need to have training for that. Yes, there's a lot of great tools out there, but even the most credentialed people can lack relationship. So even if you just lower the bar for yourself and you just lean into relationship, there's so much power in that.
Well, when it comes to some of these deeper issues, we're really good at playing armchair therapist and diagnosing things that we know nothing about because, we can Google it.
Sure.
And I'm sure people in your field absolutely love that when we can do that. Do you recommend that churches get some type of training so that their people can learn how to help children?
Absolutely. I find that just talking about the church in general, can be naive, and we don't know what we don't know. And so if there's not an intentional avenue to educate your people within the church, they're just not going to know, because you haven't gone through the schooling that maybe I've gone through, having my master's in mental health counseling. And so getting the people equipped either through a curriculum or bringing someone in is so important. There's actually a resource that I don't get commission from, but it's called Trust-Based Relational Intervention. It's a great tool that you could even Google on YouTube or look on YouTube. There's a ton of videos on trauma that you can use to, freely equip your people.
Well, I want to turn the attention to the parents for just a second, because the child may be dealing with trauma, but the parents also, it's a struggle for them parenting the child. And can you offer a word of encouragement to that mom and that dad out there who they just feel completely burned out and they feel like every attempt to help their child just ends in failure?
My advice is be gentle with yourself. We are so hard on ourselves as parents, and there's so much shame and guilt over, I'm not doing the right thing, I have to do better, I'm not good enough. You're showing up for your kid, and just God has given you grace and more grace and more grace and more grace, and His mercies are new every day. So if He is extending grace, I encourage the weary parent to give grace to themselves and put away the shame and condemnation, because God is not condemning you for the way that you're parenting. There's always ways that we can all improve, but there's so much grace. And so I just hope that today that parent can sit in the grace and give themselves grace and lower the bar for themselves and just be gentle with themselves.